Hello and welcome to the Defense and World Affairs Monitor. This is Paragamal Native. After threatening to wipe out the entire Iran civilization, Trump suddenly announced a ceasefire for 2 weeks. The ceasefire is based on a 10-point formula or a proposal that Iran had already given, which was held inadequate by Trump earlier, but now he's turned around to say that it forms a workable basis. The ceasefire was not directly negotiated. It was the result of hectic backchannel parleys led by J.D. Vance and Witkoff from the United States with the Foreign Minister of Iran, Aragachi, brokered by none other than Sharif and Munir from the neighborhood, which is Pakistan. Pakistan has again deftly used its territorial location to its advantage. You've got to hand it to them. They've been fairly smart in using their territory. It's been labelled rightly, it will rent its territory to the highest bidder, and this was another of those smart moves. China too appears to have played a role, asking Tehran to be flexible ahead of the ceasefire declaration. So they claim to have contributed to a small part. The 10-point proposal that forms the workable basis actually indicates that the United States has indirectly accepted that it has lost the war. Let's examine 3 of them. One of them says that uranium enrichment under NPT will continue or should continue, and all the sanctions and the resolutions imposed by the UNSC and the IAEA, the Global Atomic Energy Regulator, should be annulled. The second part is that the proposal asks for the United States to fund reconstruction and provide compensation aid. The third part is that the Hormuz Strait will open under Iranian military supervision and that Iran will charge $2 million to every passing ship through Hormuz to fund reconstruction apparently. Now this raises several questions. Wasn't the original premise of the war to destroy Iran's nuclear capabilities and also to seize all that uranium that already enriched? What happens to that? The second question is, if ceasefire was to be accepted, what is the point in removing all the top brass on the United States front, including the removal of the Chief of Army Staff Randy George by Trump, if eventually the plan was to accept the ceasefire? The third question is, where does this leave Israel? Israel has already gone on stated right after the ceasefire is declared that they will continue their attacks against the Hezbollah. These are the questions that are on the minds of a lot of people with the sudden declaration of ceasefire and the contrast with the original premise of how the war started. So this is the surmise from Defense and World Affairs Monitor. Acceptance of the ceasefire is a clear loss of face for Trump and the much wanted American military machine. Both the United States and Israel went wrong on several calculations. Some of these specifically are that the local citizen population will revolt and there will be a regime change early into the war. It clearly did not happen. People did not revolt. The second assessment, which went horribly wrong, was Iran's reach and capability far exceeded any prior assessments by respective intelligence sources. In spite of severe degradation, this is after 5 weeks, they still retain the ability to launch strikes which can cause damage, large scale, small scale, in the neighborhood or otherwise. Iran's strategy of attacking the GCC countries, the oil and gas installations in the neighboring GCC countries, worked spectacularly well. It sent energy shocks across the world and it turned the tide of world opinion against the Americans and did not find any favor had the war continued. So the acceptance of the ceasefire seems to have also been influenced by the tide of world opinion turning against the Americans. The reason why none of the previous American presidents attacked Iran when the case presented was similar, the capability to make a bomb, enrich uranium, they can make the cost of US operating in that region difficult. The same arguments were made in the past regime, but none of the presidents actually took the decision to attack Iran. While Trump did show decisiveness and courage, he did not have the full capability to absorb the domestic backlash had he decided to deploy ground troops. Lastly, it is a lesson for the world. To wage a war or attack an Islamist fundamentalist theocracy like Iran will come at never-ending cost. Religion primarily works as the motivator and driver for killing and even losing lives. This is in sharp contrast to how democracies function, where quality of life, public opinion, and growth and an equitable open society are the cornerstones. None of these exist in an Islamist theocracy. So it is a lesson for the world, a hard-earned lesson, which needs to be factored in the future for any attack on any Islamic-led fundamentalist theocratic country, specifically in this case Iran, which also happens to be a much older civilization compared to some of the younger ones. So it is a hard lesson, and I presume analysts across the world would be taking note. So for now, the world will breathe easy for 2 weeks. The stock markets rebound, bringing relief and cheer to millions across the globe. The ceasefire remains tentative and unstable. So the question on everybody's mind is also the question that we have from Defense and World Affairs Monitor. How long will this last? What will be the shape of the world, and particularly that area, once the ceasefire is fully implemented or otherwise? We shall continue to track these developments, and we shall be back with further conversations as we track the developments. We track signals ahead of them becoming noise. So thank you for joining in, and if you like the content, please like, share, subscribe and share with people who might be interested in these developments. Thank you again for watching.